Castor's asleep right now. Won't wake up until 6 p.m. What the hell, right? Needs his beauty rest, I suppose, to plug in the oscillation overthruster into the Heavenly Forge. Or maybe he's distracted due to fighting off his counterparts in Celeste. Whatever. Say hello to Harriet and Rita. Say hello to Harriet and Rita. We can interact with them and even dismiss them. Now everyone is gone.
Perhaps a worthy challenge awaits us.
Although the baby dragon is still providing us our bonuses. That's good. I'm glad that that's still existing. But wait a second. Where are our companions? Ah! In fact, they're not even registering as being around, so it's taking the full going to the Tellarian Forest that way takes 7 days. What could it mean? Here are our Nihon. They're still not there! Ah! But if we engage in an area transition, like into a dungeon or something, like Castle Harmondale, here they are again. And all is right in the world. We've got an oscillation overthruster to deliver, but we are going to have ourselves a beauty rest. Sweet, sweet, delicious beauty rest, in which we will not be interrupted. Good. I was goofing around before I started recording, and that's when I noticed, like, this whole, like, the quirk with the followers thing, and I ended up sleeping in here, and I got interrupted, and I was like, damn, wish I was recording. Couldn't believe it. It was amazing. Alright. Let's go deliver our overthrusters, with immersion fully shattered of some of my viewers. Some of whom have tried to provide colorful explanations for why we saw the equipment we did on board the Lincoln. This has been a lengthy series by my standards, and it has been incredibly enjoyable. This is something that I have wanted to record since spring 2011, and I found the time and means to do so. I enjoy this game thoroughly, and it has been a pleasure to bring the experience to the channel and share it with viewers, and relive it again in such a comprehensive manner, fully exploring these things that I have not fully explored for, well, longer than 9 years. There's so much that we did during this playthrough. Few stones were left unturned. We haven't plumbed the full depths of Castle Gloaming, which would aggro our companions. I never stepped into Castle Lambert. Never stepped into Watchtower 6, which is for the Rogue second promotion, the Thief promotion, second promotion of the Good Path. You know, I only partly explored the School of Sorcery. We haven't killed every possible thing, but in a game where enemies and loot will respawn, that's okay. You could always find more experience and more gold. Rather extensive, going through all possible quests available to us. Obviously couldn't do anything on the light side. I'd have to load all the way back to before I made the choice between Fairweather and Spleen. And we showed off the these four classes out of 9. And the next playthrough will show off another 4. We've talked about their strengths and weaknesses throughout the series, and I'll sum up my feelings on them later on. Perhaps not in this episode, or not at the final video in this playlist, but this is the end of the main quest line. I'll take a break from talking now, and let the cutscene take us away. Brilliant. The completion of the Heavenly Forge has provided enough ancient weapons to crush all resistance to your plans. Soon the world will bow to your every whim. Still, you can't help but wonder what was beyond the gate. The other side was trying so hard to build. Congratulations to Flailfist, Revicane, Vic, and Princess J2. Level 61 Ninja, Sniper, Priest of Dark, and Warlock. Finished on New Year's Eve. 1 year, 11 months, 27 days. Score is based on time as well as fame, which you accrue from completing quests and killing monsters. More powerful monsters provide a higher fame result. Congratulations, adventurer. We hope that you've enjoyed playing Might and Magic 7 as much as we did making it. We have saved this screenshot in your directory. You can print it out as proof of your accomplishment. The Might and Magic 7 development team. And then the game spits us back here. This still shows up in the main quest log, though we have done it. The historian has nothing further to say. The main quest line is done. Now all quests are done. And we've got 3 Oscillation Overthrusters to spare. Actually, I'm kind of curious now. You'll indulge me. Before we go back, though, let's actually speak with someone over here about Roland of Inroth. I don't think anyone else in town has anything new to say.
Hello.
But anyone who has to say something about Roland of Inroth. They say you are being credited with rescuing King Roland. That's quite a feather in your cap, my lords. Quite a feather. Indeed. Let's head back to the pit now.
Ow!
See if Darkshade, Maximus, and Tolberti have anything new to say about what we have accomplished. Reviving the Heavenly Forge. Just glad to have us back. Right, so the Heavenly Forge. Pretty terrifying piece of technology, isn't it? Wonder of the Ancient there. It basically serves as one of those, like, what, fabricators? You know, with, like, whatever it's like nanites or, like, a fusion of magic and technology creates, like, duplicates of items. And it can expand beyond that, too. I'm fairly confident. At least, that is, what I'm about to say would lead me to believe. So, what you watched there, that cutscene, and what you've experienced since I adopted these borders and chose Judge Sleen, was the canonical ending of Might and Magic 7. That's right. The canonical ending. When John Van Caneghem and Gregory Fulton sat down to determine the direction of Heroes of Might and Magic 3 Armageddon's Blade, which was the first DLC to be released for Heroes 3, they thought about a basis for story, and mutually decided to build off of Might and Magic 7, with the evil ending. Castor and his necromantic allies and the Lords of Harmondale repaired the Heavenly Forge, and with ancient weapons and salvaged wonders from the ancients, all that combined with the power of the Forge itself began to spread out across the continent, threatening to take not just it over, but the entire world. Maximus and Darkshade and Tolberti and Castor all worked together to create a Forge faction, which Queen Catherine, as severely weakened as she is with the war with Avley, must find a way to stop, because She ends up still being the most competent person on the damn continent. Perhaps the Kriegans could have mustered something, but we chopped them down and killed Xenofex. And hopefully their incredible breeding techniques would not kick in. Right? And the storyline goal of that campaign is somehow Queen Catherine finds a way to succeed and assembles an artifact of incredible power called the Armageddon's Blade, which she uses to destroy the Forge faction. That was the intended story, in summary, of Heroes of Might and Magic 3 Armageddon's Blade. Then, well, change occurred. I won't discuss too in-depth during this video what happened. I will provide informative links in the video description. An ancient article from May of 1999 from GameStop, and a published Q&A with Gregory Fulton that was on the Astro Wizards message board that's been preserved. Then there's another interview with Greg Fulton, and then there's an interview in 2005 with David Mullich, who not only was the producer for I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, which has been seen on this channel, and who later, after like his time with 3DO, was called in as the producer for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, but also headed the team for Heroes of Might and Magic 3 and 4. And he provides some insight into what happened. In short, 3DO, New World Computing, advertised that this was happening in the Forge faction, and some art assets, and there was discussion and disagreement and a death threat over the blending of science into fantasy. Might and Magic series, of course, has been a blend of science and fantasy throughout its entire existence. And Heroes of Might and Magic 1, the instruction manual, opens up with the patriarch of the Iron Fist dynasty entering into the world of Enroth through a mysterious, portal, which was not created by magic, but through, wonders of the ancients. And, that, the Forge faction was going to be a way to tie in that element into the Heroes series. And, there was, a disagreement about that. So, New World Computing changed their minds, scrapped the Forge, scrapped, really, the entire storyline, and, maps and art design, art assets and everything. That was in May, and I'm pretty sure Armageddon's Blade was released at the end of September. So there was only a few months for everything to be redesigned, which is why the Conflux faction in Armageddon's Blade reuses, old assets and isn't that imaginative or thoughtful. It was just a replacement for what they had spent the lion's share of design and work creating, the Forge faction. There's no telling whether Heroes 3 Armageddon's Blade would have been a better release with the Forge faction than the path they chose to go. The story also ends up being the Kriegans come back. Xenofex speaks to Lucifer Kriegan, before Xenofex's death, sends a vision about, a blade that'll set the world on fire. And Lucifer begins to work to assemble this. The Kriegans invade, a devastated Arathia. It's great fun, great fun. But that's another game. Still, how there's value in considering Might and Magic 7 related to Might and Magic 6, and Heroes of Might and Magic 3 before or without any expansions, and Heroes of Might and Magic 2, there's value in considering this game in relation to Armageddon's Blade. And also Heroes 4 as well, which, as David Mullich talks about in the interview, was negatively impacted as a result of this. Gregory Fulton ended up quitting. Of course, that's just, the opinion of one individual. I, as noted, will provide links to the video description, research on your own. Of course, you can search engine looking for art assets about the Forge Town. You may be most interested to look at, say, like the map screen, where you can see like the various dwellings. There's a puzzle map. There's an art sketch of a Naga tank. I'm actually gonna pop into Arathia. I don't know if I'll be able to access the throne room, but I am kind of curious. Emphasis on kind of. We gotta celebrate the new year somehow, right? Do I still have that throne room key? I don't think so. That's okay.
It's time to kill.
Actually showing off that the castle here restocked after 1 year. Everything reset. So that's gonna be an ixnay on the access to throne room. So much for seeing Roland and Catherine happy together. We're not really that welcome back, huh? That was more of a lie than anything else. And of course, Fort Riverstride should have respawned too. That.
It's time to kill.
They're not very happy with us. Unsurprising. This game is my favorite of the Might and Magic series, but I do make mental comparisons with Might and Magic 6, The Mandate of Heaven. I finished this game before I finished Mandate of Heaven. But, it ends up being like such an integral part of the story, and also like the mechanics of the two games, because built off the same engine. After Might and Magic 5, 4 and 5, World of Xeen, New World Computing said that they wouldn't do any more Might and Magics. And so, when you have Heroes of Might and Magic 2 come out, you have that teaser there, behind the flickering door on the main menu screen that talks about Might and Magic 6, the Mandate of Heaven. That was a big deal. And at the time, it was a modernization of the Might and Magic series. Going to a different place, different engine. It was really cool. And there's elements in that game that are worse and better than those of Might and Magic 7. Still, this ends up being my favorite game of the series. My first one that I played was 6, though. And then I explored, 1 through 5. We ended up with 7. Right, so I do like this game. I like the character building system. I like the idea of skills, and I enjoy the expertise levels too. Some classes are stronger than others, but that's okay, because then you can end up having some challenge in running a game with classes that are not seen as so strong. Monk, Archer, Cleric, Druid. All 4 have a spell pool. Archer is a hybrid of a Knight and Sorcerer, and can learn, eventually, master-level elemental magics. Whereas a ninja can only learn basic of this, and if you go the light path, then Flailfist could have learned experts. You could end up depending on the archer to be a spellcaster for you. If you're depending on this class to be a spellcaster for you, though, oof, you have chosen a low magic party, which is definitely a challenge as well. These classes, with the exception of Cleric, are not the strongest in the game. Druid opens up strong. It has early game versatility. If you don't have a strong, self-magic caster or an elemental magic caster, they can end up filling both roles. Though you do have to be a bit pickier on the magic you have them cast. Something like Mind Magic and Earth Magic, those are the two weakest magics of the game. We've seen the usefulness of spirit and body, as well as water and air. Fire, one of those things that you can take or leave. You got torchlight in that, and you've got fire aura in that. Pretty neat. But no great power has been garnered. If we could actually say use the haste spell and it functioned correctly, instead of haste potions, I think that'd be a little different, but even then, like, the haste spell doesn't last for that long in comparison to a haste potion, so you have to repeatedly cast it. And if your characters in your party are weakened, then they can't benefit from haste. Just to show you how this looks. Woo! Now you can't... It's hard to tell that it's not that effective because the speed for these characters is so damn high still. In fact, if we gave Princess J2 a blaster rifle, her speed's so damn high, and she is crushing it all the same. Such is the way of things. Okay. So, things that are a bit... Alright, so... In Might and Magic 7, like, the introduction of the instruction manual says that, hey, you gotta be adventurers, and that's been, like, the theme of throughout the entire Might and Magic series. You know, you're adventurers of some kind or another, seeking fame, fortune, profit, whatever your adventurers do. In Might and Magic 7, you open up in a scavenger hunt, where Lord Markham is very much trying to get rid of a province. And your characters win that, so you take that off of his hands. But you never really end up serving as lords of this province. You got a castle, which you can see upgraded over time. And it can be cool to kind of explore around it as a flavorful thing. You know, you can find treasures in the torture room and prison area. There's barrels of stuff. These tapestries, but you never really go into governance. Now, it's understandable at first, because you have to repair Harmondale. The whole province is dilapidated, no one wants to talk to you or even recognize that you rule this place. You know, the land is overrun by goblins, and you have to go out and be an adventurer to get this place repaired by the dwarves. So then you do that, and Arathi and Avli finally take notice of you, and they, start trying to get you to help them. With threats, because of course. Because what the hell are you gonna do? You're just a Lords of Harmondale, you can't change anything. And they'll end up going to war, because, well, Arathi and Avli have been, simmering with hatred towards each other anyway, but you end up sparking the conflict to happen, because you've made Harmondale better, and it reminds them that, hey, we each want to deny the other person Harmondale. So that happens, right? So then you let the whole war event pass. Judge Grey dies. Now when Judge Grey dies, everything comes to a skidding halt, and that's when the wizards and necromancers of Bracada and Deja respectively get involved and say, hey, we want you to pick our candidate to be the next arbiter because for some mysterious reason, you're the one who governs who becomes the next arbiter. Also, Happy New Year! You get to govern them because Judge Grey lies within your territory, and although Arathi and Avli might both argue that it's actually their territory, whatever, you decide. You have to, be the ones who choose this in impartiality. As you can see, the haste spell does not affect weakened characters. I just furrowed my brows here. What? 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 Alright, I have to cure the entire party first. Hold on. How does that work? How does it work? How does it work? What do you mean? That's not supposed to work. That's not supposed to happen. What the fuck? That's supposed to be broken. It's supposed to be broken. It's not supposed to be broken, but it's broken. That spell shouldn't work. How is it working? That's... what the fuck? That wasn't fixed in my original copy of the CD. That wasn't fixed in the 1.1 patch of Might and Magic 7. Did the GOG release do it? I haven't modified this game. How is that fixed? How does it work? Is it just the pedestal that's broken? You hold the fuck on here. Everything has been derailed now. Sleep. Where can I find a haste pedestal? Land of the Giants. There's other stuff I wanted to do with this series, but now that it's completely gone out of my brain. Let's go hit up Lassiter here. We're gonna explore this temple in a bottle. I also want to show off the arena stuff and show you, like, what fights the game will throw at you when you're level 61 and then level 74. But hold on a second. What? Haste pedestals work? What the hell do you mean haste pedestals work? What the fuck happened? I didn't mod this. I don't have Greyface's patch installed. How is this working? You mean I didn't have to make haste potions the entire fucking time? How? How does this reality exist? I know I'm not making this shit up! This is real! It's so real that no one in the comments of this entire series ever challenged me on this! It's so real that fucking speedrunners of Might and Magic 7 know this! I never modded this! How? We're gonna have to devote another video sometime to, like, final thoughts. I wanted to give a more comprehensive breakdown, but I'm breaking down. Next time, we sleep a bunch of days and go to the arena. What the fuck is real anymore?